is recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank Mr. Wilson for presenting this bill before us today, and I rise in strong support of Mr. Wilson's bill. It's the Hamas Human Shields Prevention Act, and I was proud to join Mr. Wilson and others as an original co-sponsor. 3 years ago, the House and the Senate both unanimously passed a concurrent resolution that I authored, which denounced the use of human shields by Hamas and indeed any other terror group. Using human shields is an unconscionable practice. It is a gross violation of international laws and norms. Yet invariably, the use of human shields ends up being a winning strategy for Hamas. Why? Because the international community falls for its deadly ploy. This is despite the fact that Israel is unmatched in its efforts to avoid civilian casualties. We know Hamas forces Palestinians into becoming human shields, and the terror group is known for firing on Israeli targets from heavily populated areas or from places like schools or mosques. They do this on purpose. The disgusting practice underscores the fact that Hamas doesn't care at all about the well-being of the Palestinian people. And the sole purpose of Hamas is to try to force Israel into a situation in which it may harm civilians, hoping to turn then public sentiment against the Jewish state. Mr. Wilson's bill, therefore, puts down an important marker, Mr. Speaker. It builds upon our previous efforts by adding punitive measures, identifying and then sanctioning anyone affiliated with Hamas who does use human shields. Responsible nations must not allow Hamas to continue to use this cynical ploy. And we in the United States, we have a responsibility to lead and to ensure that this gruesome tactic is ended once and for all. So I thank Mr. Wilson from South Carolina for this initiative, and I urge my colleagues to join us in supporting this important and much-needed measure before us today. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for once again highlighting what a cynical and deadly and disgusting ploy being used by Hamas. And I yield back.